Hi there, I'm Matt Williams. I'm an evangelist at a software company. And in this video, I want to show you a script that I wrote to help me get information out of DynamoDB. So DynamoDB is a database on AWS. It's kind of a NoSQL database. So let me show you how I went about building this tool. Now, this is going to use a few different underlying tools. First off, I'm using a tool called AWS Vault. It's a open source tool from 99 Designs for managing, if you've got multiple AWS accounts that you have to deal with, it manages those different accounts and makes sure that the right key and secret are added to the environment when you need it. The other thing is I'm using fish shell. And so I'm going to be editing a fish shell function in the course of this video. Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm going to create a function in fish. So I can type in func ed, and I'll call it new get prod. Yeah, new get prod. And so that opens up my fish function editor. So now I can say, well, maybe I go in get, just so we can see that it works. I'll escape and quit my Vim editor. Okay, so now I can type in new get prod, and it says I am in new get prod. But if I go take a look at, and you can see that new get prod is not here, and yet it ran the function. So if I have this new get prod, it's going to be stored in, I guess, in memory. And as soon as I leave this or kill this prompt, that command is gone forever. If I go and create a new prompt, that command's not going to be there. So what I need to do if I want to save this is say func save new get prod. And so now, if I look in here, I see new get prod here in my list of functions. Okay, cool. So let's go back to func ed, new get prod. And I'm going to get rid of that line. And I'm going to say, let's see. Well, I know I need to start with. Okay, so now I need to come up with my filter expression. There's only one row or one column that I care about, and that's called DD handle. So I want to do a search. Basically, I want to say, if DD handle equals a certain email address, then let me know. Well, so what's email? Well, email is going to be relevant in just a second. I'm going to say expression. Now my value statement is set. Okay, so that should be all I need. And I save that. And if I try now new get prod, it's probably going to error out. Okay. It's expecting an argument. I didn't provide an argument, so, fix that. That address. Okay, so that's the right address, but there's a problem here. Yeah, it's waiting for me to press return or space, even there's not really anything else to show. So I need to, fix that. So I'm going to go to func ed, new get prod, and I'm going to insert a new row here. And there I'm going to say set -lx. So now if I run new get prod, Matt Williams. Okay, it just goes all the way through and it returns to the command prompt. It's not waiting for me to page through the data. Okay, so cool. But this is a lot of information. I don't really want to read it in this way. I can kind of scroll up, but I need to filter it down a little bit. So one thing I can do is, first off, I can make it prettier. So if I go to func ed and go to the end of the line, I just did $sign in Vim. And this is JQ. Now JQ, oh my God, JQ is such a cool tool. It's a JSON query tool. And so with JSON query, you can, well, let's see it run. First off, if we just run it as is, we get a prettier JSON output. Okay, so that's great on its own, but I want to do a little bit more with it. I want to say JQ, $, and append. I want to say -r, which stands for, what does that stand for? -r. Oh, I think it says raw. So don't wrap the results in quotes. Well, it looks kind of the same, minus, you notice before I had items, and then I also had count, scan count, so how many items are in the database, and consume capacity. Okay. So I don't really care about this count stuff. I just care about the user, and now we have just the user. Okay, cool. So let's go back to funced. Go to the end of the line. Not really sure if that's going to work. Okay, so that didn't like that. Huh. I think I need func NuGet prod. Okay, so if I try that, yeah. So now I've got the email address / and then the org name. But there's one other thing that I care about, and that is okay. I care about let's see, org name. Oh, I care about .expires because that's the whole thing. I need to know when does this item expire. So now, if I run this. Okay, I get all the things I care about. Matt Williams, or the email address, the org ID, and a timestamp when this expires. And so this is, how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is number of seconds since the Unix epoch. If it were 13, it would be number of milliseconds. Usually when you see Unix timestamps, it's gonna either be 10 digits or 13 digits until we reach, I don't know how much further in the future we need to go. Probably like 10 times. Well, so it's Unix epoch is since 1970, so it's been about 50 years, and it's probably 7 times that number. So we need to go another 350 years before the Unix epoch number of digits becomes a problem, if it becomes a problem. Okay, so now I've got that. Now, I want to make this a little bit friendlier output. So I didn't really know a way to throw it. Sometimes people like to throw all this stuff onto one line. I didn't know of a way to do that. So what I want to do instead is, I will set the output, or save all of this stuff to a. I didn't want to do that, to a variable. Okay, so now I've set it to output, but well, what do I, right now, nothing's going to happen unless I, so that's the way to get to where we were before, but I don't really want to do, well, let's go ahead and leave that there. Now I want to split out those values. In fact, this is why I use the /, because I want to be able to say, I want to individually address each of my items. So I can say set, and fish has a string function called split. So I'll say string split, and I'll split it based, every time it sees a /, make that a separate item within an array. And it's looking in the output variable. Okay, cool. So now it's going to, each item in split output is going to be split out into, items in array. And so I could say, at this point, echo. Okay. Oh, not yet. Okay, now we've got it all. So now I have a friendlier output, but oh, it expires. I think I never actually set the value expires. Okay, so cool. Oh, but I've got this double dollar sign there. You know, having a timestamp, I don't know about you, but I can't really read a timestamp. And so I want to set that to a nicer value. So that's expires, and now I can change this. Hopefully this works. Okay, so it expires on August 6th at 10:19 a.m. Okay, so that's really useful information. But, you know, it'd probably be interesting to see, well, when was it created? Because actually there's an email that gets sent out when it gets created, and it would be nice to let the person know, hey, you should see an email that was created or that was sent to you on this particular date. Now, I could figure out what is August 6 minus 14 days, but now that means I have to remember, well, first off, I have to remember what's the month before August. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. You know, I'm a certain age and I still have to count on my fingers which month is which. So July. And now is July 31 days or 30 days? I don't know. That is, now I have to like count my knuckles, I think. I never understand. I never remember how to do that. So let's see, funced. Let's see, I want to set a create date. So I'm gonna add a new line, set. All the different Unix variants have a different set of command line variables for date. So if you see me type in date-v or date-r, you wanna, if you're trying to run date on a Mac, it's gonna be different. If you run date on Ubuntu, it's gonna be different. Date on BSD is different. So you have to look up the actual command line parameters for yourself. So, but I'm gonna subtract 14 days. Okay, so now NuGet prod. There we go. So it was created on July 23rd at 10:19 a.m. Now that's super useful information. Now I can go into my email and find the email that was sent. Cool. So how about making it a little prettier? So one thing I can do is, I know, because I spent a lot of time searching on Stack Overflow, that if I do a set bold is tput bold, I'm not really sure what tput is, and if I set normal to tput sgr0, because that totally rolls off the tongue. Okay, so let's add a line there. And now I can do... Okay, so now... Okay, so now it's a little bit bolder. Not quite as bold as I'd like, but okay, you get the idea. I could probably also figure out the tput output for making it green or yellow so that it maybe stands out a bit more. But this seems pretty good. But you know, what happens if I type in my personal email address? Well, I get a nasty error from date and JQ, and well, I'll get all sorts of things. So I need to test the output to make sure that you know, there's something actually there. So let's go to funced, and let's see. I want to, you know, I'm echoing output, but that doesn't really make sense. I'm gonna. So now I can say, you know, if string length. So now if I do NuGet prod for a working address. Uh-oh. Obviously, I did that wrong. Huh. And if I do it for a non-working address, what happens? No user without email. Okay, so I did something wrong. Funced. If string length. $, dollar output with a lowercase t. So replace that with a t. Okay. So now, NuGet prod with the bad email address, no user with that email, and with the good address, I got the right stuff. So that is the tool that I ended up building. Wow, this is a long video. I was expecting these to be like 5 minutes, but this took a little bit of time to do. Oh, and now, of course, if I close this window, that function is gone. Well, it will still say, here I am from NuGet prod, but that's because that's what happened, or that was what was in there when I saved it last. So I need to remember to func save NuGet prod. And now, you know, if I do functions NuGet prod, I see my new function. Okay, and so now, no matter where I am, I could say, hey, is Matt Williams in there, or is, what's my other personal email address? Is that in there? Nope, no user with that email. Cool. But is NuGet prod, and maybe I should say NGP for NuGet prod, and then my work email address. And it says, hey, that user was created at this time, at this date, and it works great. So, you know, could I have done this with Node.js? Yes. Could I have done this with Dino? Yes, sure. Could I have done this with any other tool? Yeah, absolutely. But I started off with this shell command, and I just wanted to kind of extend on that. And so that's why I ended up creating this little shell script. And I did a different one for the staging database. I did a different one for, got another one for conferences and stuff. Yeah, hopefully you got an idea of what, you know, maybe this gave you some ideas of things to try in your own scripts. And again, this is Matt Williams on my process channel, which again is, you know, less edited. So you're probably going to see a lot of mistakes in the video, and it's a lot more raw. It's all just, you know, me trying to show some things and get it out real quick because I'm so eager to create videos, but videos take so much time, and this lets me just do it quick. Okay, thanks so much. Subscribe if you find this interesting. If you're still here at the end of this 30-minute video or 30-minute raw file, maybe I'll edit a little bit, but 30-ish minutes. If you're still here, that's amazing. Subscribe, and I will see you, you will listen to me next time. Thanks so much. Bye. Where's the stop button? QuickTime stop. I wonder if I never recorded. Oh, record. Oh.